The Chicago Bulls have traded Dosunmu to the Timberwolves, and it honestly looks like a throwaway trade and kind of a tank trade. But we're going to get into that right after this. The Chicago Bulls have traded Dosunmu to the Minnesota Timberwolves along with Julian Phillips, and honestly, this trade really hurts. Ayo was one of my favorite players, and he was one of the players that I wanted the Chicago Bulls to keep here past this trade deadline. But unfortunately, he is no longer on the team, and he's heading to a way better situation than the Chicago Bulls. The Minnesota Timberwolves are contenders, and they are looking very good. Adding Dosunmu to their depth chart is going to be very good for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I do believe Anthony Edwards and Dosunmu are going to look fantastic together as a backcourt. I think they're going to thrive together. Minnesota got themselves a point guard that has a lot of potential to still grow. Ayo's averaging great numbers this season, averaging 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on 51% shooting from the field, and he's shooting 45% from 3. I don't really think Minnesota could ask for a better guard. They needed guard help, and here they are. They got a steal of a guard here. Obviously, they had to give up a little bit. We'll get into the details in a second. We also gave up Julian Phillips, 2 points per game, 1 rebound per game, 42% from the field. Julian Phillips really didn't get too much of a role here on the Chicago Bulls. He had a very limited role, only averaged about 11 minutes a game here through his 3 seasons on the Chicago Bulls, only about 3 points per game. And I really, to be honest, don't think Billy Donovan used Julian Phillips to his full potential. I really think Julian Phillips could have been kind of a special role player. He had a lot of upside, a lot of defensive upside. He's very, very athletic. And I do think the Timberwolves got 2 very good players here in this trade. But let's get into a little bit of the trade details. So this trade was between the Bulls and the Timberwolves. The Bulls got Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 future second-round picks. The Chicago Bulls are loving their second-round picks here at this deadline. And then the Timberwolves receive Dosunmu and Julian Phillips. And honestly, as I said in the intro, this trade kind of looks like a tank trade or throwaway trade. Just getting assets back, a younger player or whatnot. We didn't really get much back. I would have thought that we could have got maybe even a first-round pick for Dosunmu. But AK has made this move, and I was really questioning what he was thinking or what the thought process was behind this move. I really thought we were going to keep Ayo and keep him alongside all these people. I thought we were maybe going to ship off maybe Anthony Simons or someone along the lines like that after we got them at the deadline, kind of package together and ship off somewhere else. But unfortunately, we did not. But the 2 players we got back, Rob Dillingham, obviously most NBA fans know who that is. Played for Overtime Elite. And honestly, just like Julian Phillips here on the Chicago Bulls, Rob Dillingham had a very limited role on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And only averaging 3 points per game this year, 1 rebound, 1 assist on 33% shooting. His shooting from the field has not been good. He's only averaging 9 minutes a game. And he has a lot of potential to be very good. He's a very good passer. He is very shifty, very good ball handler. But I just feel he hasn't really gotten a good role on the Timberwolves squad. So I do believe coming here to Chicago, I think that he could potentially develop into something special here for Chicago. Maybe a backup point guard like Dosunmu. Obviously, not to Dosumu's defensive potential. I don't think Rob is as good as a defensive player as Ayo is, but I do believe Rob Dillingham could be a very good scorer off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. So we'll kind of see how that goes runs around and see how that works out here for the Chicago Bulls, because I do think Rob can be special, but there's definitely some questions here at about this trade. And then we obviously got Leonard Miller back. He also has a very limited role. Had a very limited role on the Timberwolves, only averaging 2 points a game, 1 rebound per game this year, 54% from the field, and 8% from 3. He's a forward, so you don't really expect him to be shooting threes too much. He's 6'10", 220. I think the Bulls added him in this trade to get some size back. I do believe, hopefully, potentially over the summer, they just package these future second-round picks and get something or do something over the summer. But, yeah, looking at this trade, I'm not very happy with it. I don't really know the thought process behind it. And we now have a lot of guards on this roster. So we'll kind of see how that plays out with us having 7 guards on the roster. But we'll see how it all goes. But let me know what you guys think down below about this trade. This is one of the trades that I was really sad about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.